Here now with reaction is Ohio gubernatorial candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek, thanks so much for joining us. What's your hot take on what Gavin Newsom is talking about, and Democrats in general, about law enforcement protecting our streets?
Well, look, I think that there's actually something funny going on here that it's worth calling out for what it is. Gavin Newsom is clearly trying on different ways to run for president. He tried the first thing, he launched his podcast. He actually reached out to me and a bunch of other people on the right to say he wanted to be reasonable, engaging in dialogue. I think that must have lasted all of 2 episodes before the far left wing of the party has the chokehold over their politicians. Now he's going the other way and using histrionics to substitute for this thing called his governing record. You think about California, sadly, it's a beautiful state by way of nature, but the way it's been managed under him has the highest rate of homelessness in the country. That's shameful. It's unacceptable. And I think what Gavin Newsom's highlighting is that he's trying to deflect attention away from his record through these histrionics. I don't think the people of this country are going to buy it. And the easiest way to really get at his record, if he ever wants to run for president or whatever, is just call him the most denigrating thing you can, California Newsom. That tells the story. His record in California speaks for itself. And I hope that other states, I'm looking to lead the state of Ohio, set an example of what good governance can actually do compared to the disaster he's overseeing in his state of California.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to be like California. The good people of Ohio certainly don't, or Utah. That's the last thing we want is to be like California. Yeah, you're right. Celebrating the 20th anniversary of his 10-year plan to end homelessness. But this fascination of, it's not just Trump derangement syndrome. It's, hey, if Donald Trump does the right thing, common sense, they immediately reflexively go the other direction. So when Donald Trump says we want to make our streets safe and have the backs of law enforcement, they say no to that. And I've said it a few times on this show, I don't understand why this is a partisan issue. It really shouldn't. Supporting law enforcement should be across the aisle.
Absolutely. And making our cities safe, this is not a left versus right issue. It's right versus wrong. Okay, we protect our cities. I think it's your birthright as an American to be able to go into the great cities of this country, enjoy a nice evening without fear of being beaten up or assaulted or mugged. That's not too much to ask. We see it in states across the country. We've seen it in my own home state with some of the turbulence in Cincinnati. For many people on the left, sadly, the crime greater than the assault is the fact that someone even noticed it. The good news is I think people, even in our inner cities, are moving on. They're leaving the Democrat Party in droves. There's a reason why we're building a broader, growing, diverse, multi-ethnic, working-class coalition, including, I hope next year, including even the people in our great cities. And the fact of the matter is, you come back to Gavin Newsom, he's doing us a great favor in one small way. He's highlighting the importance of federalism in America. State leadership matters. The poor version of it is in California. We're going to have the good version of it in states like Ohio, which I'm going to lead, to be the alternative to what California represents. That's the beauty. And you can see California, there's even some in Democratic circles now talking about imposing an exit tax because so many people want to leave the state. But that's the beauty of competition in our country. It's a shame California, a beautiful state, a naturally beautiful state that I'm rooting for in the long run, is faltering so much. We're going to have a lot of those great American patriots moving to and thriving in states like Ohio that I'm aiming to lead. I think America and federalism at its finest, and that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, look, what people want, they want jobs, good paying jobs. They want a community that can walk the streets. Last question here.
Sure.
I'm like honestly trying to understand the Democrats' point of view. If they're not pro-law enforcement, what does that make them? It seems to me it's just anarchy. It's just, and we're not going to get through the mental health crisis that's going on in this country by just having counselors showing up in, violent situations or situations that could turn violent. That's not going to solve the problem.
So look, what we're talking about here is common sense. It's the same issue on sealing the border. I have not heard a good argument for why a nation should not have a secure border, yet they opposed that for years. Now that we've sealed the border, they're now opposing the rule of law just being imposed in the ordinary cities using common sense policies. And the fact of the matter is, I think that it's a broader abandonment of the culture of the rule of law. It's a broader abandonment of our national identity. The beauty of this country is that we're founded on the rule of law. We're founded on core constitutional principles and a heritage deriving from that. That's ultimately what this far fringe of the left that has the Democratic Party as under their arm as a chokehold, that's what they're ultimately rejecting, is our national identity itself. We're the greatest nation known to the history of mankind. We're founded on a set of ideals that brought together a divided group of people 250 years ago. And I think the modern left fundamentally hates those ideals, and that's what their assault on the rule of law is really all about. It's a symptom of that deeper problem. But the good news is they lost, we won. It's now our country to save, and I think states are going to lead the way.
Well said. I went to Congress thinking, oh, we all have the same goal in mind. We just have different ways of getting there. And I left Congress 8+ years later thinking, no, there's not. We believe different things. They don't necessarily love the flag and freedom and the First Amendment and everything else that goes along with our Bill of Rights the way I do. But more discussion to come. Vivek Ramaswamy, thank you so much for joining us.